Hello there. Today I'm lucky enough to be tasting some liquid history. I'm at Daumas Gassac in the Languedoc in southern France, in the Gassac Valley. And today the estate has been putting on a tasting, as it does every 10 years, of its older wines. So we've been fortunate enough to try 27 of the 47 vintages produced here. With 1978, the original vintage, being the first wine in that tasting. Now the label unfortunately has seen some ravages of time. This is a wine that's labelled as a Vin de Pays de l'Hérault. Very quickly, Daumas Gassac obtained the sobriquet the Lafite de Languedoc. I think possibly because of its elegance, its complexity, its ability to age. It's a Cabernet dominated blend, normally about 70% at least. The estate was set up by the Guilhem family, who'd come here in the late 60s looking for a home. They'd bought the land that went with the home. It was an area that had been untouched by modern agriculture. The previous owner had done all his ploughing with a horse. There was no electricity here. There was no running water. And they discovered that the soil type here, certainly in the lower part of the property, is very much akin to the soils found in the Côte de Nuit in Burgundy. Iron-rich, fractured, glacially deposited limestone soils that proved ideal for growing Cabernet Sauvignon. And the proof of the pudding, I guess, is in the tasting, because as I say, this is a wine that will be 46 years old this year, and from tasting it earlier, still seem to be going strong. So let's have a look at it and see what we think. Firstly, the colour. The colour's a medium depth of ruby red, but at the same time, actually, it's not particularly turned sort of brickish or brown at the rim. It's kept a lovely vibrancy to that ruby note. The wine only has 12% alcohol, which is very typical of wines of the 70s perhaps. And there's not particularly a density. The wine isn't clinging to the glass that easily. So let's see what we make of the nose, shall we? When I first tasted this, my impressions were initially of fresh cassis, but then also barnyard notes. Now, this is an hour or so later, and the developed tertiary aromas have taken over from the fruit. There's more of a sort of a mushroom developed note. But underneath that, there's still a vibrancy of fruit. There is some sort of slightly juicy raspberry or mulberry note. So let's have a taste, shall we? The wine has a lovely freshness. The acidity's giving a lift to the fruits. There's an elegant, perhaps raspberry, perhaps toward a sort of a slightly stewed plum note. There's a drying, dusty tannin. The structure's fine and smooth and elegant. The structure's slightly taking over on the finish, and there's a slight charcoal note there, alongside the sort of the red fruit and the notes of mushroomy development. I think possibly this is a wine that is now past its prime. But at the same time, I don't feel it's a wine that's in serious decline. I suspect if I was to come back to it in 3 or 4 years' time, it would still be in very much this sort of state. So a wine that's aged quite impressively. I did take a look at the Wine Searcher aggregated score for this, and I'm afraid that's only 66 out of 100. But I suspect possibly other people had tried wines that weren't in quite as good a condition. I mean, this has come straight from the producer's cellars. And yes, it's a wine that's complex, it's got plenty of tertiary aromas, and I could quite understand if people felt it was past its best. However, nonetheless, a fantastic chance to try the inaugural vintage of a wonderful estate. So thank you very much for joining us. I do hope you found the tasting of interest. If you have enjoyed it, do please press the like button. If you want to watch more of these tastings, do please sign up and follow us. Do subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you feel like sharing the video with friends, that would be fantastic. If you have any comments you want to leave, please pop those in the comments box below. We would love to hear your feedback on the wines we're looking at, the tastings we're doing, or anything else that relates to that. I will of course leave a note in the comments box so that you can follow that to the Wine Searcher website, and there you'll be able to find details about where the wine's available, if it still is, what its pricing is, the critics' scores, background information about the wine, and anything else relating to it. So thank you so much for joining us, and I do hope you'll manage to take some time and come and join us for another tasting in the very near future. Bye for now.